What's up guys, Meredith with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we're going to be hanging out with the 2024 Tacoma. Now I want to see what the biggest tire size is that we can fit on this truck with the stock suspension. Now if you like fun content like this and informational content, then make sure to like and subscribe. However, I'm going to get this into the shop and get to work. So now that I have the Tacoma back in the shop, I wanted to show you what we were working with. So we have an SR5 model, and because it is more of a base model, we have some of these smaller tires on it. These are roughly a 30.5-inch tall tire by 9-inch wide tire. Now you will see a 32 and a 33 once you start to climb those trim levels. However, I think that this is going to be a great baseline for this test. Now obviously we also have stock suspension, and with the two combined, from the top of the tire to the bottom of the fender, we have about 6.5 inches. Now just from looking at this, you can tell that we've got a lot of room to work with up top here. We've got some room to work with up front. There is that lower trim piece that I'm thinking might give us some issues once we get to the 35s. Not sure about the 33s yet. And we do have more of that inward stance with that stock offset here. Now I know that we can make it look a whole lot better. I'm gonna roll out the 33s and let's see how this changes things. So now that I have mounted up the 33-inch tires, you can tell that there is a significant difference compared to the factory wheels and tires. These are a 285/70 R17, so they're equivalent to a 33 by 11-inch tire, and I think it fills the wheel well really nicely. I think it looks natural. It seems very comfortable inside the wheel well. It's not stuffed, and it doesn't look silly like the factory wheels and tires. They look just too small for the wheel well. Now the wheel has a 0mm offset to it. So it does stick out of this fender line about an inch for an aggressive stance. I think that adds a lot of presence to the truck. So as a baseline for offset, a 0mm will stick it out a little bit for a little bit of poke. Now when it comes to the fitment, I think that a 33 right now, out of just my first impression, is a perfect fit. When I turned the wheel, even at full scrub, wasn't hitting anything. I was totally expecting to hit that air dam on the front because that's something that I'm used to with the 3rd gen Tacoma. Didn't even come close to it with a 33, and this does have a pretty beefy tread to it. I did even put it in reverse and back up at full scrub and didn't get any type of rubbing. So a 33 on stock suspension definitely fits. I'm very curious about the 35s. Obviously they're gonna be a little bit bigger. I'm pretty sure it's gonna hit that air dam on the front, but let's pop these off and roll those over so we can check them out. As I suspected, 35s were going to rub. I kind of knew that, but I wanted to see where they would. And honestly, it's not that bad. The front air dam here, that does have some rubbing, especially at full lock. And then on the back, you also have some rubbing on this component here, but it looks like we're able to take that off. So what I want to do is take off these components, see if we can gain any clearance, and maybe make these 35s work with no lift kit. So I'm gonna pop those off and I'll check back. So underneath that piece of felt inner liner is this bracket here. This is more or less a safety bracket, so you can opt to remove this. I don't necessarily recommend this, but to add a little bit more room, you can. As you can see now, with that piece removed, we did gain a little bit of clearance. It's kind of hard to see, but now we have all of that room compared to when that bracket was on the front of the frame. All right guys, so the results are in, and 35s definitely rub. They do rub on the safety bracket that I did take off to see if we could gain a little bit of clearance, and they rub on the front bumper as well as that air dam. When you are driving and your suspension is articulating, you are going to run into a little bit more rubbing and fitment issues. So with a 35 on the 2024 Tacoma on stock suspension, it does rub. You will need to do modifications, whether you are taking off the brackets or doing a little bit of trimming on the inside of the front bumper and the back of the fender. However, what I would recommend is at least a leveling kit or a small lift kit in order to fit those 35s comfortably. So in conclusion, 33s are definitely going to be your best bet when it comes to the 2024. They don't have any rubbing, they don't require any modification in order to put them on, and they don't require a lift for any of that. As for 35s, when I pulled the truck out, I did have rubbing on that front bumper that really wasn't that pleasant. So you're definitely gonna need a lift. You can't run 35s on the stock suspension. Let me know what you guys think, what your plans are for the 2024, what you think about the 2024 in general, and make sure you like and subscribe for more fun videos like this, and always keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.